Chuckload of Comics is brought to you by Cold War Games, creators of Squarriors, Fight Your Friends, and Lady Death Last Stand. For more information, visit coldwar.us.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the 9th film from Quentin Tarantino, premiered at the Cannes Film Festival this week. The French are notorious for being very critical of their films, especially at the Cannes Film Festival. This movie got a 6-minute standing ovation.
6 minutes? That's crazy.
6 minutes of French people on their feet cheering the wonderful greatness of this film.
Wow.
The first Twitter reviews are out from the people who saw the film, and they are glowing.
That's so cool.
We're going to read 4 of them for you.
Sounds good to me.
Picked at random. They're all pretty much glowing. There's a couple that I saw that weren't stellar.
Right.
But for the most part, the buzz of this movie
Can't wait.
is huge. The first one comes from Joe Utichi. Joe writes, "Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is so gloriously, wickedly indulgent, compelling, and hilarious. The film Quentin Tarantino was born to make. The world is more colorful place in Quentin Tarantino's Twilight Zone. Round 2, please." I guess he's calling for a sequel, Joe?
Interesting.
I don't understand the Twilight Zone reference at all, but anyway, the next one comes from Jordan Rumi. I cannot pronounce names at all on Twitter.
Roomy.
Jordan writes, "Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino wasn't joking when he said that this was the closest to Pulp Fiction that he has come. He juggles a mosaic of characters and storylines in this one, eventually stirring them together for a relentlessly playful and touching finale." I've heard a lot about the ending of this film.
Yeah.
People are talking about how something really wicked happens at the end.
Oh, man.
And it's interesting that he talks about how it's Quentin Tarantino said it's his closest one to Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to mean, to your point, you brought this up earlier today, that it's just like a bunch of storylines going on, and then they all come together
Exactly.
somehow. So
That very unique Tarantino style of script writing
I'm okay with.
and storyboarding, because he says, he juggles a mosaic of characters and storylines that eventually stir together for the finale. So you're going to have a bunch of different characters living their own different lives,
So cool.
just like Pulp Fiction, and they all come together.
A bunch of different characters played by a bunch of different amazing actors.
We're going to
man.
briefly talk about the
That's
trailer
crazy.
that dropped this week also, but 2 more reviews. This one comes from Max Borg, who wrote, "Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is an odd one for Tarantino, but in a very good way. A pure love letter to cinema in the 1960s with a career best DiCaprio performance.
Wow.
Cannes 2019.
Man.
Career best for
Leo.
DiCaprio.
I can see that from the trailers.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
the trailers alone are showing like this insane range of acting for Leo. It's going to be great.
Yeah, we
Can't
got a new
wait.
trailer this week, and it was mind-bogglingly great.
Yeah.
Tons of Brad Pitt, tons of DiCaprio. This might be another Oscar
know.
for Leo.
Hopefully.
The last one comes from Peter Howell, who writes, "Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino wants to tell us a story about Hollywood life at the time of the Manson family's slayings of '69, and man, does he ever. Going from awestruck to what the fuck, Brad Pitt, the standout. His coolest role yet." So he's
Wow.
praising Brad Pitt.
I mean,
Big
you always,
surprise.
yeah, exactly. Who doesn't praise Brad Pitt?
Honestly,
especially in a
the
Quentin Tarantino movie?
pairing of DiCaprio and Pitt
I know.
under the auspices of Quentin Tarantino, oh my God.
I'm gonna have to
I am
Google that
so
word.
excited. Auspices. I'm probably using it wrong. And of course, Margot Robbie,
I know.
who apparently has a much smaller role. People were a little bit critical of Tarantino for not putting a lot of emphasis on the Sharon Tate character.
But that's not what the story's about.
Exactly. It's about DiCaprio, who is an aging.
Washed up.
He was a
actor.
movie star
Yeah.
in the early '60s, and now he's all washed up. And you see this in the trailer, just beautiful. It's a beautifully cut trailer.
I think it's funny how people will bash writers and directors and for not including something or somebody, and it's like, that's not their story. They wrote their story. They wrote it. It's not a book.
Yeah.
It's not some
And this isn't an auto.
concept that somebody else came up with. He
Yeah.
came up with this story.
And this isn't a Charles Manson Sharon Tate
Right,
movie. It's the
right.
movie of DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And his stunt double, who I guess are best of friends, or maybe they hate each other. I don't know. We'll find out.
find out.
Everybody's in this movie, guys. Al Pacino,
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. You see in the trailer, he looks great. I mean,
Oh,
everybody
man.
who's anybody in Hollywood is in this movie. Check
Harley
out the
Quinn
trailer.
Smith.
Harley Quinn Smith. Shout out to Harley Quinn. Let us know what you guys thought of the trailer. Are you excited about this new Tarantino film? I could not be more excited.
I couldn't either.
I'm
Can't
probably
wait
more
till July.
excited about this than I am Spider-Man.
I know, right?
I never thought I'd say that.
Spider-Man too, doesn't it?
Man, July's going to rock.
I know.
Well, moving on to movies that most likely will suck.
Will suck. Let's just be honest.
All right,
here.
that's mean. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. This movie, this announcement just came out on Saturday. Sonic the Hedgehog, they are moving the release date from November to February.